Tune into today's episode where we discuss the link between Facebook and the crypto market, hard betting being introduced into everyday households, and how the billionaires drive our economy. Stay till the end as we reveal how shockingly easy it is to access hard betting these days.
Well, Greg.
Yes.
Welcome back again. I tell you what, it's been kicking off. I'm a massive soccer fan, as you know.
Yeah, right.
I'm a big soccer fan. And the Soccer World Cup is absolutely going gangbusters at the moment. But I tell you what is going real gangbusters. I saw some numbers about the betting on the Soccer World Cup.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well.
And we're having a chat this morning after I talked to you about some of those numbers. And then you talked to me about even bigger numbers.
Oh, yes.
I'd love for you to share some of that with our lovely audience
Well, in
this week.
today's paper, I mean, I didn't know this was happening, but Mr. Zuckerberg, as we all know, who owns Meta, Facebook, whatever, he has decided, he jumped out of the cake, he's getting into this Polymarket. Have you heard about it?
I've heard about Polymarket. Yeah, it's to do with crypto.
Crypto, it's where I'm a novice at it as well, but it would appear, just briefly reading in the newspaper, that you open like a crypto account or you put crypto money into this account that whoever it is in this Polymarket around the world, and it's quite big. It's quite new, but it's becoming big. And the reality is that they exchange in crypto and whatever. And one of the questions I'll ask you in a minute, could this get so big it will move the needle on cryptocurrency? But before I get there, and what is Polymarket? Well, let me explain. It means you basically bet on anything. You could be betting on a political situation. You could be betting on, I gather, if Putin is meeting Trump, you can bet who's going to walk through the door first.
Absolutely. You can do everything like that. And you can actually create bets, and they'll give you a market on it.
So it's like a two-up thing, isn't it?
Get away.
You know, and whatever. Now, look, it sounds like it's soft gambling, but in the hands of Meta, it's hard gambling.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm not a wowser. I can understand, soft betting and I understand gambling, but I'm a bit concerned because they are now putting this probably addictive thing in the hands of. He says in the paper he's going to put it out to 3.6 billion people.
Well, that's how many people have the Facebook app worldwide.
He's going to encourage them to download this separate app.
Yep.
Open up a crypto account. Is that right?
Yeah. So they'll make it much more streamlined. It won't. I would assume that the way that he'll do it, he won't push him into doing it. But ultimately, they are going to have some kind of hand in the crypto market, whether that's done through a third party. But yeah, it's done through Polymarket, which essentially is a cryptocurrency company.
And does this then jump all the boundaries of what you can and can't do in Australia because you're going directly through this app?
Well, who knows, right? What these guys are constantly trying to do, aren't they? They're trying to redefine and I guess get around the ways that certain jurisdictions in the world can do these things. But as you know, Australia in particular is very hard on the gambling side and the hard betting side to the soft betting side.
Very much.
So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be able to do that. I don't think he'll have a problem bringing it to the US market and a lot of other parts of the world, but Australia could be a problem depending on how he filters them into Polymarket. Now, Zuckerberg being as big as Zuckerberg is, what he potentially might do is I'm just speculating here, but to make it for ease of use, he potentially may have something like a Polymarket white label, let's say, right, where he uses something very similar to the Polymarket, but people can log in with their Facebook account. That would be more along the lines of what I would assume that he would do and ways he'll try and get around the whole hard betting thing. Because let's not beat around the bush here. This is hard betting, right?
I think it is.
Polymarket is. It's like sports bet here in Australia. Yeah. It's the same thing. So the reason I mentioned the Soccer World Cup before, soccer is the most popular sport in the world. So
24/7, you can pick any sport.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what it is. They'll give you an odds.
And you can even, as I said, you joked around before and said who will walk through the door between Putin and Trump at a meeting. Like literally, you can bet on that stuff. So you can bet on anything.
I know. I read about it.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's insane what you can bet on.
And just to bring it in proportion, I mean, in 2000 2025, there was like $25 billion of exchange, so it's quite new in a world stage. But in 2026, just in the first 5 or 6 months, it's now done 200% on that. So it's growing, it's catching.
Yeah.
But it's like up to 75 billion or something. Wait for it. Well, what happens when Meta gets hold of it?
That's before the Meta
Yeah,
3.8, 3.6
Hasn't
million.
been launched yet. So it's going to turn from 75, it's going to be 300 billion, it's going to be $1 trillion
Yep.
in a heartbeat.
Yep. So your question around, Greg, you mentioned how does this affect the crypto market potentially?
Yes.
And does this drive potential people into it? So I still feel that Zuckerberg, like I said before, will have some kind of third-party way where you can log into your account just through Facebook. And Polymarket will be somehow on the Facebook app, which is so incredibly bad. Like, that's not good. You're literally introducing hard betting into people who have Facebook accounts, even into, I mean, look, I would assume they'll say things like, oh, you've got to prove you're over 18 before you do this stuff. But ultimately, it's very easy to get around these things online.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Very easy. Now, there's a whole wrath of things going on here. But the question around, will it drive more money and the crypto market? Absolutely, it will. Ultimately, what will happen here is that Polymarket is essentially underwritten. It's an application that sits on top of Ethereum, right? And so ultimately, this is going to drive money into the market. Inadvertently, there's going to be money drawn into the third party through third parties into the crypto market in the future, like Polymarket, and people aren't even going to know that they're participating in crypto, but they are. Right. So because the whole idea here is to have the whole, if there's a whole new financial system underwritten, as an example, there's an example of Ethereum, being the second largest cryptocurrency in the world. For a long time there, people were saying that because there were so many applications that could be built on top of Ethereum, people were saying that could be the underlying hardware that runs like a new decentralized financial system. Now, that's still out for debate, but there's going to be a lot of money drawn to the markets from this. Now, I don't think there's going to be any kind of spike in crypto prices or anything like that. I think crypto will continue on to do what it does, and it'll continue to do its 4-year journey as it always does. We're at the moment, we're going through a rebuilding phase and a buying phase, and then we're just going to go back into the next spike in 2029.
Well, I remember I spoke to a very old guy who'd been in the gaming industry forever. He's a dear old friend. I'll mention his name, Max Leishman. And he said to me once, this was many, many years ago, and he'd been a professional gambler. He'd been involved in setting up gaming things. This is going back 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
He's about 80 years of age now, and he goes, Greg, the house always wins.
Oh, absolutely. The house always wins.
He said, the house always wins. And
Absolutely.
the way he said it, we were having a quiet drink in a surf club up on the Gold Coast, and he looks a bit like Colonel Sanders, old Max, and he was sitting there. He's well into his 80s now, and he just had that cheeky smile, and he said, the house always wins.
James Packer's had his knockers, but I tell you what, he's on the right.
Well,
if you want to make some money, you're getting into the casinos.
He saw his father putting all the money into gambling, and so he thought, I won't join Dad. I won't become a gambler. I'll be the guy on the other side.
Absolutely.
The house always wins. So he's been the house.
Absolutely.
And I also heard he's become, or he's trying to become one of the biggest shareholders in OnlyFans.
There's a whole nother market, guys, right? There's a whole nother market in OnlyFans. What do they say? Is it what, gambling and sex? They both sell. And James Packer's looking to get in both of them, right?
Yes. Now you got all these zillionaires. Let me say. Elon was a trillionaire for a moment there the other day, but I think that rocket's gone. The
rocket ship fell out of the sky. I don't know.
It dived into the Gulf.
He's only a half a trillionaire now, maybe.
But these billionaires and potentially trillionaires, they're finding ways to know where the money is.
Absolutely. And the big thing is they're finding and this is what is always just so funny when people say, oh, we need to tax it. You can't. How are you meant to tax? Like they're using the system, right, to be able to avoid paying taxes, which, if you have the money, then why wouldn't you, right? So the thing is that, yes, they're always ahead of the game and they're always finding new ways. But the thing is that, like, a great example was when Elon Musk bought Twitter, or X as it's known now, and there was monetary figures thrown around about how much he paid. There was no exchange of money ever paid, right? So what it was, he went to a bunch of investors and he offered his Tesla shares up as collateral, right?
Took a loan. Yeah, I know.
Took a loan against his Tesla shares. And people are blowing up about it, but at the end of the day, he didn't do anything illegal.
No, he's supposed to follow the system.
He followed the system, right?
Well, he's got to pay for the private education for his 10 children.
Well, I think it's soon to be another
With
one. I think there's
tax-free
another
money.
one on the way as well. But that's a whole nother story. But look, that's there's no point. We talk about this a lot. There's no point whinging and complaining about it. You might as well understand and work in with the system like these smart guys are doing.
I mean, I read an article about somebody about that also. It works in Australia. I haven't investigated. So you just go and borrow.
Well, look.
What? That's scary.
I think there's lots of ways that you can. It's obviously tax minimisation is what people talk about. I think the great man Kerry Packer. What was his wording? I think it was, "You're not doing too bloody good a job. Why would I offer you up any more?" Or
I'm not
something
going to
like
give
that.
you any more than you need necessary. You're not doing a very good job, at any rate.
Well, we won't get into Albanese and the job he's doing because that's a whole nother podcast there, as we spoke about last week. But very interesting times with Polymarket, Greg, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to be seeing here is something quite significant. Whether Zuckerberg pulls this off or not, it's going to be a significant move in the crypto space.
He's in the paper. He's hit the
So
button.
it's locked in.
He's hit the button.
So he's got the agreement. It's all locked in. It's done.
Well, he's hit the button. In other words, he's hit the button as far as his corporation is concerned. I'm sure there's a few more little things, but for him to roll it out would take how long?
Well, it depends.
Not long, just...
Well, I mean, online it's very easy to do.
But Polymarket's already legally driven out in America, so he's not doing any more than what is.
Yeah,
I would say be out within weeks.
Well, I think America, in the US, he could get it out very quick. The problem he'll have will be Australia and markets like that, which are a lot more.
But I don't think but if you're an Australian and you have an American bank account, you won't have a problem.
No, there'll be ways around it. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, you'll be able to do it the same way that you can bet online with American betting agencies through the internet. So you can absolutely. There's ways to do it. So if you're in Australia and you want to participate in it, and you could absolutely do it. But the thing is, you can participate in Polymarket right now if you're in Australia.
You can if you've got an American bank account.
Correct.
You're straight in.
Yep. Interesting times, Greg.
It is. The billionaires continue to drive where everybody's going.
They do, right? They're much more well known than any politicians these days, and who knows where that's going to take us. Mr. Beast, president by 2035.
Oh, big call.
I don't know. I reckon in the 2030s we're going to see a president out there, way more out there than a Donald Trump. Way more out there. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Gregory, thank you very much for joining us this week.
Troy.
We'll see you all next week.
Bye for now.